Okay, well, welcome back. I have had a request to show how I mix my paint, and it's been a couple of people. I have, and what I'm going to show is paints I've never mixed up before, so that someone who hasn't mixed paints before or is having trouble, they can begin to troubleshoot and play a little like I'm going to. I got this brand, and it's going to be reversed on your screen, but it's Lucas. I think it's reversed. It's Lucas Krill Studio. So, or Lucas, I'm saying it as an American. It is a German paint. I saw it, and they have this really dark blue. It's called indigo, and I have the Azurean crimson, and I have another shade of pinkish red that is the carmine. So I've not mixed this before. I've not worked with it before, so you get to see how I experiment with new paints. And how, if you're new to this, is a good way to kind of do a similar manner. So these are a little better paint, so we probably I don't have to use as much as I might with some of the other paints I use, such as the craft paints and things. So I'm going to put, if you can see down in here, so it comes out, because this is more like Liquitex as far as texture. So I've put that much down in there, and you can see this, it's a rich, it almost looks black in that. And I'm going to mix this with with just Floetrol. That's the only thing I'm going to mix it with this time. And I put my Floetrol in just a separate bottle. And I start out with something like this. I'm going to start out with 1 part paint to about 2 parts Floetrol, and I may even go higher than that with my Floetrol, but I'm going to let you see I don't measure, I don't weigh, I don't do anything. So I'm going to go like this. And why I'm saying this, and I'm going to do that, is these are studio acrylics, so they're a higher density or a higher pigmented paint. And as you saw, they were fairly thick paint. Look at that gorgeous color. Oh, that is gorgeous. Just exactly what I expected. Yay! And I do have, so everybody knows, I do have 2 more videos to upload before this will be uploaded. That are made, I did with Vallejo. I got my first order of Vallejo. See how that's the, you probably can't, hold on, let me move my hand out of the way. See? Still see the shadow, don't you? See, it isn't completely mixed, so I'm going to keep stirring. And I'm going to go ahead, because this is a little thicker and it looks like got plenty of pigment, I'm going to go add a little more Floetrol. Did you see what it did on top? Look. Can you see it? It's making cells itself. Probably will not need to add silicone. I'll probably do a small painting first with these 3 colors and not add no silicone. Probably make a negative space. Maybe I'll do a 3x3 or something, 4x4. Okay, it's getting there. It's pretty close. Now, just to thin it a little bit more, because I like my paint a little thinner than that, I have my syringe, and you can see it's right there. So I'm going to move it down, and it's not moving. There we go. Just down to the tube. That's a little bit amount. So basically, what I've mixed this is roughly 1 part paint, 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 parts Floetrol. I don't, as you'll be able to, hopefully you'll be able to see the red better. but see, still got to stir it some more. Now, I will check this again prior to doing my first pour, because paints tend to have or sometimes have the tendency to thicken a little. Still a little thick for me, so I'm going to add a little more paint or water. So just do little amounts. And this is exactly what I do with my Liquitex. That's about that is about the same. Liquitex, I may do 1 part paint to 1.5 to 2 parts Floetrol. This, there we go. You saw that run, right? Let's do it with this hand. Let's see if I can get, see if I can do it in my non-dominant hand so you can see. There you go. See how that's sort of like nice warm honey? It just wants to run right off the, there you go. Just runs right off. I'm gonna set that aside. And I also got, for this pour, I also got a, yeah, I got a large quantity of this others, but they did not have any of this, of the titanium white, titanium white in the large containers. So I went ahead and just got some of their white in the smaller, just because I wanted to try it. There we go. Actually, I know I'm going to use probably more white, so I'm going to go ahead. Okay. So I'm going to flatten that out so you see a little better the quantity. Okay, so that's a pretty level in the bottom of the cup. And you can see I've got on the side, oops, on the side here, about there. So I'm going to put Floetrol till about, so there's 1, there's 2, oh, there's, if I do it this way, there's 1, here would be 2, here would be, I can't even do this right because I'm off camera. Okay, so this is my paint. So that's roughly 1 part. So that would be 2 parts, or 1 part Floetrol, 2 parts to 3 parts. So I'm parts. So I'll put it to about here with Floetrol. And it's harder to see when you're mixing white with Floetrol, but or any pouring medium, because it's white on white. There we go. Oh, I gotta get another stir in a minute. And I just start stirring. And yes, I did use fresh stir sticks on this because this is a different paint. I didn't want to have anything like have silicone on it or anything. So, and how you can watch your white to know how well it's mixed is if you see thickness, thick lumps. Ooh, splash it on my hand, but I don't. Not yet, not yet. See, that's really thick. Comes in a little tiny stream rather than just flowing off. Saw that big lump drop off? That's still too thick. So I'm going to add just a tad more Floetrol to get it to almost closer to the 3. That's still thick. Wow. Yeah. So it's going to be more. There we go. That's to the 3. That was 1 part paint, 3 parts Floetrol. And it's hard to tell by looking on the side because you splice it up. So I watched from the inside and I could tell that took me to about where the 3 parts of Floetrol would have taken that. It's better. Now we're going to add, I'm going to get more water in the syringe. I know that's going to need a little more this time than just to start. because that was pretty thick still. But hopefully this helps you understand how I judge and play with my paint the first time, to where then I know, okay, this is going to be a brand of paint that I'm going to need to use 1 part paint with 3 parts Floetrol or my pouring medium. And I'll tell you guys on another video, I'll show how I mix pouring medium, but right now I still have an almost full bottle. It's getting there. It's still pretty thick. And I don't mind my white being, well, it depends. If I'm doing a negative space, my white can be a little thicker. I still like it to pour and shift and move. And I don't panic on it if it's not. It's getting there. Oh, you saw that. It's really close. Add just a couple drops of water, and I mean just a couple, like that. And that's sometimes how you have to do it, little drops at a time. Just, you don't want to put too much in, otherwise you'll be having to add paint and it becomes a vicious cycle. That looks good to me. Scrape my thing off. Yeah, there we go. So that's the, and this is going to be the, they say Alzarian, but it's the Azurian. It's crimson. Let's just call it crimson. Yeah, I'm going to use their crimson. And I'm going to make about the same I made. Ooh, hey, made of the blue. There we go. See? Not quite as much as I did white, but or the blue, so gotta find a place to move these up a little bit out of my way. And that white I made is not gonna be enough for both paintings. Oops, wrong thing. Hey, this is what I need, my Floetrol. And here we go. I imagine I'll have to do, hold on, find another clean, picked up one that wasn't clean, there we go. May have to add a little more, maybe not, we'll see. Ooh, that's a pretty red. Ooh, these colors are gorgeous. See? Got my light, I'm blocking it with my hand. There we go. As you can see, I don't measure. And like I said, this first time, I'm not going to put any silicone in. And let's see if we get cells. Oh, this is, oh man, this is a gorgeous color. Wow. I hope these paints do as nice as they are color-wise. Ooh. Okay, start adding some water. And as you can see, I don't add a lot of water. I do know that one's going to need a little more. Oh. Man, I'll tell you, I'd love to have a car that color. A little sports car. This little red sports car. Still a little thick. And I have not even begun to put nearly a part of water in any of these colors. it would take like a whole syringe, at least a whole syringe of that to have made up the paint I put in here. It's still thick. Add a little more Floetrol because I know I hadn't added as much, but it's getting there. Just a tad more water. There we go. That was probably, this is a 10 milliliter or 10 cc syringe. I've maybe added 1 cc, maybe 1.5 cc's of water, and there was no way I added that much, had that much paint or Floetrol in here. There we go. That looks nice. I get it so you can see. Okay. It's honestly, everybody, when you know, everybody's asked, oh, what do you do? And it's here's the carmine I'm gonna use. It's strictly, it's playing. You've got to learn your paint. And like I'll play with this, and if I don't like this, next time I won't make it as thin, or maybe feel I need to make it a little thicker. It's just one of those things that as you work it, you learn. So when those of us who don't measure our paints say we don't measure, we're not joking. We've done it often enough that we have a good feel for what the texture of the paint is. And honestly, I'll tell you, I've only been pouring, what is this, middle of September, about 2 months. I started pouring, I poured a few before I started videoing on a regular basis, because some of those, ooh, it's making cells. Let me see if you can see this on the side of my cup. Look at that. And these are new cups, so there's no silicone in them. That was cool. Like I said, when I put that Floetrol in, that blue, you could see the cells forming. This is nice. It's getting there. Just this one's going to be really good. I'll show you the difference in the shades of the red here in a minute. I'm not sure how I'm going to pour these, but I'm going to play with them. I'll probably do a negative space because that's sort of the one that I like the best, and this will tell me how everything reacts. And my I may save this white for when I do flip cups and use my regular white on a more regular basis too. I don't know yet. Yep. Okay, see? Kind of like warm honey. So it flows free. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to upload this so people can see just a paint mixing. And I will be back with the pour in a little bit later this evening.